Abbott announces the Freestyle Libre 3 has been approved in Europe, but where are we at with the Libre 2? The Love Island star who's sharing his diagnosis story, and the Type 1 pop star making sure people don't go without their insulin. All that and more coming up in today's video. Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Lowe, welcome back to my channel, and it's time for October's T1D news update. I'm really loving the response I'm getting on these videos, but I realise that I have to keep the stories quite short in order to prevent the video from being too long. So if there's a story that you'd like a bit more of a deep dive into, then please let me know in the comments below. But before we get into today's news, be sure to give me a like, subscribe and follow for regular updates. We're going to get into the Freestyle Libre 3 and 2 in just a moment, so do stay tuned for all of that. But first, we're going to start with reality TV star Marcel Somerville, who revealed he was just an hour away from death before he was rushed to hospital with undiagnosed type 1 diabetes. Now, Marcel was a 2017 Love Island cast member and was diagnosed with type 1 in June after he kept going in and out of consciousness and suffered vomiting, which most of us will know is a symptom of diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA, which is when the blood sugar gets very, very high and the blood then becomes acidic. Marcel revealed that doctors told him that he was just hours away from a coma, and like many of us, me included, it had taken him a while to clock that he was actually experiencing typical diabetes symptoms like losing weight, going to the toilet more often and feeling tired. But since then, he says he's been using the Quin app to help him control his diabetes and will be expecting his first child in January. The UK now has the largest number of commercial pilots in the world with either type 1 diabetes or insulin-treated type 2 diabetes. The results come from a study of 49 pilots with the two conditions tracked over the course of more than 22,000 flying hours. Now, during that time, almost 80% of the pilots, many blood tests, something like 38,000 blood tests, fell between 5 and 15 millimoles per litre, which is the range that is deemed safe for pilots to fly within. The researchers also found no evidence that the pilots were running their glucose levels high to avoid hypoglycemia, which would put them at risk of later complications. In 2012, the UK became the second country worldwide after Canada to allow pilots with type 1 diabetes to fly commercial aircraft. To do so, pilots must follow a strict routine of finger prick blood glucose checks no more than 2 hours before reporting for duty, within 30 minutes before takeoff, and every hour while flying, and no more than 30 minutes before landing. If any of these blood glucose values measure lower than 4 or more than 20 millimoles per litre, the pilot then must immediately hand over duties to the co-pilot. That Freestyle Libre news is on the way next, but first, with the price tag of insulin in the US continuing to climb, Jonas, who's a type 1 diabetic himself, has announced a new initiative that will make it easier for those to get the insulin that they need. The Jonas brother, along with his diabetes advocacy group Beyond Type 1, launched getinsulin.org, which is a new search engine tailored specifically to help those who are struggling with getting their insulin supply. To ensure getinsulin.org was up and operational during such a critical moment in time, i.e. the pandemic, Nick says he teamed up with the NAACP and Feeding America, as well as leading diabetes organisations such as the American Diabetes Association, the ADA, and JDRF. He hopes the venture will also serve as a wake-up call to the nation's political leaders about the current healthcare system's shortcomings when it comes to covering diabetics. Nick is also calling for prices to be made more affordable because he says, quote, ultimately, insulin access shouldn't be a political issue, but rather a human rights issue. And I couldn't agree more. Well done, Nick. Now, probably what you've been waiting for, what is going on with the next generations of the Freestyle Libre? Well, at the end of September, Abbott announced that the Freestyle Libre 3, which according to them features the world's smallest, thinnest glucose sensor, had received the CE mark for people with diabetes in Europe. This next-gen system provides the same benefits of the Freestyle Libre 2, which we'll chat about in just a minute's time, but it also, which is very exciting, includes real-time glucose readings, all automatically delivered to your smartphone or reader every minute, and a sensor that's easy to apply with a single piece applicator. Now that single piece applicator is quite exciting for me because it makes it more environmentally sustainable, effectively reducing the system's total volume by more than 70%. Abbott say they made a 41% reduction in total plastic use and 43% decrease in carton paper. Now, we aren't likely to see that on the market anytime soon because we haven't yet got our hands on the Freestyle Libre 2, have we, which has recently been approved for use in the USA. Provision of the first Freestyle Libre is still low in this country, but it is increasing. According to JDRF, as of February this year, just under 28% of people in England with type 1 diabetes who had met the criteria had received the device on the NHS. Now, the new versions of the Freestyle come with a significant upgrade in tech. The Freestyle Libre 2 comes with customizable alarms which alert the user in the event of low and high glucose levels. Plus the Freestyle Libre 3, which comes with those automatic glucose levels that we'll see on smartphones and devices, and that tiny sensor. So when will we get it? Well, Abbott is currently launching the Libre 2 on a rolling basis throughout European countries, but for now, there is no, unfortunately, UK launch date. And that's the latest news in the type 1 world. Don't forget, if you want more information on one of the stories that I've covered today, do let me know in the comments box below. If you haven't already, please give this video a like. Follow me on all my social media, and there will be a new episode of my podcast, the All for One podcast, in the works in the next few weeks or so. So make sure you subscribe to that wherever you get your podcasts, or indeed here on my YouTube channel where you can watch it in full. But that is it from me for now. I'm Jamie Lowe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.